That really stands out to brands. Like when you know to ask for their average ROAS or what they look for in a hook score, and when you can ask them about their creative brief, like those are things that make you sound like an expert and help you really stand out in the UGC industry. Hello, and welcome back to the Paid to Travel podcast. I am excited about today because it's a very kind of a technical episode, I guess you could say, but like foundations of UGC. Like these are things that you absolutely need to know as a UGC creator, and we're going to be going over like all of the basic terms that you need to know as a creator who is talking to brands, creating content. These are just really the foundations of all of it. Also, I may or may not have gotten a haircut and color today. So am I feeling myself? Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello. Isn't she so cute? We cut off like 4.5 inches and I dyed it darker and got some layers, and I'm literally loving her. So we love it. You know, sometimes you just got to go into summer with like a little change so you feel like flirty and fun. All right. So literally the first term obviously is UGC. So what does UGC stand for? It stands for user generated content. And it's literally just content created by everyday consumers of a product and everyday people rather than the brand itself. So these videos are very authentic feeling. They're less like cinematic, scripted, and they feel a lot more real and genuine. And brands use this content in their marketing. So they use it on social media or in ads. And the creator does not post this content to their own pages. So that would be an influencer. An influencer would be posting these ads to their own page. But a UGC creator is just creating the content for the brand to use on their own channels. One term that I think people don't quite understand and get confused by at first when I'm talking about UGC is when I say organic UGC. So what organic UGC is that just means that the content is being used organically. And that means that it is just being posted onto social media. So if you have an organic UGC video, that means it's being posted to the brand's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. But it's just being posted organically, which means that there's no ad spend behind it. So they are not running that as a paid ad. It is just being posted like as a reel or a TikTok to their account. That's what organic means. It means that it's just organic social media content. These types of videos are for trust building, gaining followers, and reaching new people. And then you have ad style content. So ad style videos are videos that are specifically created with conversion in mind, and these are being run as ads. So brands are literally putting money behind the video, whether they're running it on Meta, TikTok, YouTube. They are spending money to run that video as an ad. So you have that ad pop up in your Instagram stories, on your YouTube. And that would be considered an ad style video. And again, these types of videos are created to convert viewers to customers. So brands put money or ad spend behind these videos to promote them on their different platforms. And these types of UGC videos are often very large parts of a company's marketing strategy and budget. All right, another important term to know is a hook. So what are hooks? Hooks are the first 3 to 5 seconds of a UGC video that is meant to really drive curiosity in the viewer to keep watching the rest of the video. So when a brand mentions a hook, that is literally the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video. And a lot of the times brands want ad hook variations. So what that means is if they're running an ad, they will sometimes want you to just record different hooks for the same video, and they'll swap out the hooks and basically test which hook works the best for the audiences that they're targeting. And then the hook that performs the best, they'll go and run that as the main ad. But your hook really sets the intention for the rest of the video. A hook is arguably one of the most important things in your UGC video, and it really makes or breaks your content. I actually have an episode all about hooks and how to create great hooks for your UGC videos. So if you're interested in that, I believe it's episode 5 if you want to go check that out. Similar to a hook, but literally the opposite, is a call to action, or often known as a CTA. And this is the final 3 to 5 seconds of a video. And the point of a call to action, literally in the name, it's like you're calling the viewer to act on something. So you're giving them an action to take. So whether that's, click the link below, or visit this website, or comment below, follow the brand, whatever it is, that's a call to action. And so it directs the viewer to, complete an action like clicking the button or something like that. A call to action is really important to have at the end of an ad because it redirects the viewer's attention back to the product and the brand, and it immediately gives them an action to go complete, and that helps with conversion rates for your videos. Another important term that you need to know is content brief, sometimes known as a creative brief. And a content brief is often what a brand will send you after you've signed the contract, and they are basically sending this to you to be like, hey, these are the guidelines for the content that you're creating. So in a content brief, there's often brand guidelines of like do's and don'ts. There's often past video examples, so like their top performing content that they might want you to look at, or video examples from like other brands, other creators that they want you to try to emulate. Those would be considered like inspiration videos. And then just depending on the brand, like content briefs can really look so different across the board, but some brands, it'll be very general, and then others will be very detailed. They'll have a very specific shot list of the exact shots they want you to have in the video, the exact script that they want you to say. Other times it'll be more of a general outline, and they'll give you some creative freedom. So content briefs can look really different, but essentially it's the document that the brand is sending you for the guidelines on the content that you are creating. And a content brief or creative brief can also be something that a creator creates as well. So sometimes a brand won't have a content brief to send me. So then what I like to do is put together a creative brief where I just put together my ideas for the video, the script that I have in mind, and some of the shots that I want to get, as well as some hook ideas and maybe some inspiration videos. And I like to send that to the brand just to make sure we're on the same page and that I'm good to go ahead and film that concept. All right, let's get into some terms on the rates side of things. So first of all, rates, that's just what you charge for your services as a UGC creator. And then a common term you will hear is base rate. Your base rate is what you charge for one organic UGC video. So typically that's going to be anywhere from like $150 to $400, just depending on your experience and the scope of the project. But your base rate is what you would typically charge for one organic UGC video. And then ad usage, and this is a very important term to know because it's where a lot of the money comes in with UGC and as a creator, how you make a lot of money. So ad usage is what brands purchase when they want to run your UGC video as an ad. So ad usage legally allows them to run your video as an advertisement for a select amount of time, and you will agree with the brand what the usage terms are. So like the length of time that they can run it as an ad. And the average ad usage rate is usually like 25% of your base rate per 30 days that they have access to that ad usage. With ad usage, a term that you should know is in perpetuity or perpetual usage. This basically means that the brand has rights to that content forever, so they can run your video as an ad forever. So there's no limit, there's no time limit on the usage. And typically how you would approach that with a brand, if you did want to give them rights in perpetuity, is you would just increase the price of that content. Another term, whitelisting, which is also known as blacklisting, which can also be called allow listing, but most commonly it's known as whitelisting. And whitelisting is when a brand runs an ad under your name, under your account. So it's literally being run like under your Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok account. So instead of showing up as an ad from their brand or their account, instead of them being the advertiser, it'll be your name and your account. And it will link back to your account. Like they could literally click your account and go to your account instead of theirs. But usually like with those ads, they have a call to action on them that takes them to like the brand's website. It's just that it's literally being run under your account instead of the brand. You see this done a lot with influencers. So like influencers whitelist content a lot because like they have a likeness, they have a name, people know who they are. And so when it's like run through their account, people are like, oh, like I know who this is. Why brands do whitelisting with UGC creators is just because it makes it feel more authentic. Like it gives the UGC an even more authentic feel when it's not being advertised directly from the brand, but just like a normal everyday person. And these videos are not posted to your account directly. So it's literally run from the back end of your account, like an ad account. And the brand knows how to do this. You don't need to know how to do this, but it doesn't show up on your feed. A/B testing. I love this term. A/B testing, also known as split testing or bucket testing, is a method used in advertising to compare two versions of content to determine which one performs better. So like I was saying earlier with the hooks, so how brands will ask for multiple hooks sometimes for ads, they're A/B testing those ad hook variations. Basically, it's a form of experimentation that can be used like on websites, emails, landing pages, ads, social media posts, but most commonly with UGC, we see it done in paid ads. B-roll. So B-roll is a really simple term. It's literally just the individual shots that you take when filming a UGC video. So this can be product shots, talking head, adventure clips, etc. Basically, it's like all of the unedited content that you take is B-roll. So brands a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, sometimes will literally just want B-roll. Like they'll have a whole shot list that they want you to get and then a script that they want you to read. And like you don't even edit the video and they just want B-roll. But regardless if they just want B-roll or not, like that's what that content is called. Like all the individual shots that you are taking as you're filming this UGC ad, those are called B-roll. And then raw footage is basically B-roll as well. Like raw footage is all of those B-roll clips. And sometimes brands will ask you for the raw footage. If they ask for raw footage, that's just like asking for the B-roll. And you can also like upcharge brands if they want access to the raw footage and not just the edited content. So like if you're filming a video for a brand, you're not sending them a folder with all of the B-roll and raw footage. You're just sending them the edited video, but they totally can pay you if they want the raw footage, if they want to be able to repurpose that and like create social media content with it or mix your B-roll with other creators' B-roll and like create a more dynamic ad. That's totally a thing that brands do as well. All right, an important term to know when you are getting stats from brands on how your content performed is return on ad spend. And this is often referred to as ROAS. That's just the abbreviation for it, ROAS, and it's called ROAS. This is how brands track how profitable an ad is for them. So if a brand puts $100 into an ad and they make $300, then that means that ad has a 3 times ROAS, or like a 3.0 ROAS. An average ROAS is about 2.8 times, or 287% return on ad spend. And UGC ads on average have a higher ROAS than other creative types. So that's why UGC is so valuable, is like it literally is just proofed. Like it's proved in the statistics, in the average ROAS that brands are seeing over and over again in their marketing, that UGC ads just perform so well for them, and they have a higher ROAS on average than other types of ads or like marketing that they are doing, which is super cool. Hook score is basically how good your hook is. So they determine this by tracking what percentage of viewers make it past the first 3 seconds of the video, aka does your hook actually hook them and stop their scroll? So like, are they watching past 3 to 5 seconds and continuing to watch the video? Or did your hook not perform very well and they just scrolled right past after 2-3 seconds? Watch score, or sometimes known as retention rate, is the percentage of viewers that watched the majority or entirety of the ad. So did they make it all the way through the video? A high watch score indicates that you had a really engaging video that made them want to keep watching all the way through. Then we have click-through rate, often known as a CTR, and this is the percentage of viewers who actually clicked on the ad to go to the product page. So how many people watched your video, clicked it to go see the products that you were talking about? That is a click-through rate. And our final definition of the day is convert score, or conversion rate. And this is just the percentage of viewers who actually purchased the product. So the amount of people who watched your ad, clicked on it, and bought the product through that link. Whew. Wow, I just feel like I talked so much. And I go back and listen to this again if you can. Like, I think these are really, really important terms to know. And if you can just like ingrain these in your head and really get a good understanding of all of these terms, it's going to make your conversations with brands so much easier, because you're going to be speaking their language, and that really stands out to brands. Like when you know to ask for their average ROAS, or what they look for in a hook score, and when you can ask them about their creative brief, like those are things that make you sound like an expert and help you really stand out in the UGC industry. So get to know these terms well and ask brands for these things in your conversations. And maybe that's my tip of the day, is these different terms that I just gave you, like watch score, hook score, click-through rate, conversion rate. These are things you should be asking brands for after like a month to 3 months of your ad running. So let's say they have 3 months of usage rights. Check in a month in. Like, you know that they've been running that ad for a month now. Check in and be like, hey, I know that this has been running. Just wanted to see how it's performing. Like, how's the hook doing? Or like, how's the conversion rate? Okay. And then check in when those 3 months are up. So check in, be like, hey, just want to see how the ad performed for you. First question, do you want to keep running it as an ad? If so, let me know. I can send over an invoice for more ad usage. Second, are you willing to share data with me on the ROAS of the video, the conversion rate, the click-through rate? You can literally be asking them for these things, because if you're able to have hard stats like that on your portfolio and that you can share with brands in your pitch, again, you're going to come off as an expert. Brands are going to see that you genuinely create good content, and it's just a game changer. So that's my tip of the day. And I hope you found this helpful. Again, maybe go back and re-listen to this a couple times if you need to, but really study these terms and get to know them very well so that you can speak the same language as these brands you are talking to and come off as an expert. I hope you enjoyed today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.